All right, guys, so we have initial injury updates for the Green Bay Packers ahead of this Sunday Night Football matchup here in Week 15, where the Packers head to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. We got a lot of important but also good news regarding injuries for the Packers, so in today's video, we're going to dive down into all the injury updates we have for the Green Bay Packers and break them down. After a disappointing loss in Week 14, the Packers now at 9-4, heading to Seattle, who are one of the hottest football teams in the NFL right now, winning 4 straight and playing some really good football. So it's going to be important for the Packers to be at full strength in order to match up well against the Seahawks. Quickly, before we dive into the injury updates, I want to give a massive shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. Use code YouTube150 at sign up for a 150% deposit match on your first deposit. Using code YouTube150 will also net you a 125% match on your next 2 deposits as well. The game lines are already up on BetUS for this upcoming slate of games this Sunday and Monday. And of course, the Packers play Sunday Night Football. And right now, the Packers are favored by 3 points, and that's also in Seattle. So you get a traditional 3 points for being the home team. So really, if this was a neutral site, the Packers would be favored by 6 points. So right now, Vegas thinks the Packers will win this game. Their money line is at -150. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Again, use code YouTube150 when signing up. Again, thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. All right, so let's dive right into it and go over the important injury news for the Green Bay Packers. First and foremost, tight end Luke Musgrave has returned for the first time and is practicing for the first time since week 4, since this ankle injury where he had surgery. He was placed on IR and now he's designated to return. Now, this is massive for the Green Bay Packers. A lot of people may brush off the fact of Luke Musgrave returning because Tucker Kraft has been such a great tight end for this offense, but Luke Musgrave can definitely add another dynamic piece to this offense, a big-bodied receiver slash tight end that can run up the seam and open up things underneath. Kind of what we were picturing before Luke Musgrave suffered that injury, kind of had a slow start to the season, then of course was injured, and we really haven't heard much of him since. Still, adding him into this tight end room would be massive. Now, will he be available this Sunday against the Seahawks? I'm not entirely sure. After practice, he pretty much said, when they let me go, I'm going to go. So they said they're on track with him. They marked today as the day they wanted him to return when he had his surgery. So Matt LaFleur said everything is on track. And yeah, getting Luke Musgrave back into this offense would be great. The Packers wanted to run a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight end sets this year, and maybe it's a good thing that they're only going to really be pushing this out later in the season, maybe into playoffs where teams don't have much tape on it. Also practicing, Jaire Alexander, Romeo Doubs, Edgerrin Cooper, Evan Williams, and Corey Ballantyne. Now, Jaire Alexander was a full participant today, and Matt LaFleur pretty much said he's removed off the injury report. So I don't know what the whole did not participate was last Wednesday and then not playing against the Lions. If it wasn't a setback, how is he all of a sudden a full participant and removed off the injury report? It's a little bit confusing to me, but at the end of the day, I do hope Jaire can return, especially against Seattle, against DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, and the Packers are going to be likely without Javon Bullard. Therefore, they'll have to kick Keyshawn Nixon to the inside, and you don't want both Stokes and Valentine at outside boundary corners. You'd like to have Jaire at least on one side. Now, Romeo Doubs and Evan Williams remain in concussion protocol. Very interesting for Romeo Doubs, who's been in concussion protocol for a couple weeks now. He was a full participant, but is still in protocol. So if he doesn't pass that, he won't play. Obviously, every concussion is different, and some can last very long. But the fact that he was a full participant says he's very close to clearing protocol, and we'll hope that Evan Williams can by Sunday. Now, Edgerrin Cooper is also massive for this defense. We've seen how torn apart these linebackers have been in the passing game, especially Isaiah McDuffie the last 2 weeks. I think he's allowed over 200 reception yards against him, against the Dolphins, and also the Lions. So getting Edgerrin Cooper back, who's arguably our best cover linebacker in that room, will also be massive for this defense. Obviously, the Seahawks with JSN, who's been on a tear the last 5 to 6 games. You're going to need linebackers to, play good zone coverage over the middle there, which they haven't been the last 2 weeks. The Dolphins and the Lions tore apart the middle of the field behind the linebackers in both games. And then we see Javon Bullard, ankle injury, is the only did not participate in today's practice. Now, he was seen on crutches after the Lions game. I watched the playback over and over on all 22, and it kind of just looked like Isaiah McDuffie kicked his ankle. So not exactly sure how he ended up on crutches, but hopefully it's nothing too crazy. I know LaFleur said Monday it's a week-to-week injury, so don't expect him back against the Seahawks, but maybe eyeing a return Monday night, because again, they have an extra day to get healthy after this game against the Saints the following week. But those are all the initial injury updates for the Green Bay Packers here on Wednesday. There'll be another injury report tomorrow, and then the final one on Friday, now that we're back to a regular non-Thursday night football schedule. So be on the lookout for injury updates on this channel. Go down, click subscribe to stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers. And a reminder to check out BetUS and use code YouTube150 at sign up for a 150% deposit match on your first deposit. I appreciate you guys coming by to the video. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.